Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how are you?
Good, and yourself?
Good, good. Thanks so much for going back and forth. I ended up stumbling upon your video, and I just think you know everything about this thing. I didn't know who else to turn to, so I hope it's okay that I reached out to you for some assistance here.
Sure.
What would cause the faint? You know, it seems like it's accepting the buzz, but it's a faint noise. Not enough to cause the striker to actually open up. And sometimes it does. Sometimes it works totally fine. So I don't know what's with the intermittent. I mean, I would think that it would either be good or it'd be bad.
So if I understand correctly, you took an electric strike and you ground 1/8 of an inch off the back side of it to fit it into your cavity in the frame.
Well, the housing of it, yeah. I mean, basically the rear housing and then the faceplate a little bit. You know, I got a steel door, so I can't do anything about the steel door part.
And you're calling to say what could be wrong.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that question?
You're calling to say what could be wrong.
I'm calling to ask what could be wrong. Could it be that the coils have been damaged?
Yes.
You know,
anything is possible. You took a grinder to an electrified piece of hardware.
Right.
If you can get it apart, then you can maybe, carefully investigate what's happening. But it could be anything. I mean, frankly, that's the last piece of hardware that should have any modification done to it. A hinge, sure. Anything mechanical and certainly electrical. I mean,
right.
To me, it's obvious.
Can a coil be? Because it seems like you take the cap off of it, and the coil just slips right out. I mean, you can see can the coil be replaced?
I would imagine that it could be. The question would be, we'll try and sell only those parts, and I'm sure the answer is no. Probably because it's a UL listed product, would be my guess.
I mean, because that would be the simplest thing to do if I could just replace the coil and then I'm done. But what would cause it to sometimes work though?
The fact that you've damaged the strike and now it operates intermittently. Or when you stick it in the wall, something's compressing. Why didn't you just take a large masonry bit and drill the backside of your masonry wall to accommodate the strike?
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily the masonry wall that's causing the problem. It's the steel. You know, I sent you a picture of what the steel jamb looks like, and I had to. What I grinded was the bottom of the faceplate. I only have one anchor of the screw anyway, which is the top. I ended up grinding the bottom one, which was fine because I wasn't gonna screw anything into it. The one screw was totally fine enough to go ahead and make it totally firm. So that's not the problem. The problem that I was having, and I suppose you're right, I could have made that cavity a little bit deeper on my own without having to grind the rear off of it. And in hindsight, I could have taken the coils off and then just grinded it without the coils on there. This is a learning curve for me. So in hindsight, I should have done that. But here I am. So I just don't know what to do. I mean, do you think that it's damaged beyond, or should I take it apart and see if there's anything? What should an unhealthy coil look like versus healthy?
It might have some carbon scoring. It might be compromised physically, because you'll have copper wire that's there, and if it looks like anything's out of sorts, then I would say that it's damaged because the way a coil works is the quantity of wires, the revolutions, the diameter of the wire, and the diameter of the coil all conspire to give you a voltage. So maybe that's been compromised where the intermittent behavior can be explained by the fact that you're not producing the proper voltage for it to work. Maybe heat changes it, and maybe it works after a while. I'm in an area that I've never, dipped my toe into, the hot modification of electrified hardware.
Right.
Couldn't tell you. Frankly, I would chalk this up to, well, don't grind an electric strike again. I'd buy another one, and I would chop the back of that wall out with a cold chisel or a grinder, masonry bit, so that it fits. It must fit perfectly. And plus I'm not going to say that's a low end strike, but that's a low end strike. Trine is a great company. They make very very economy grade strikes, and they make very, very robust strikes. This is definitely towards the economy grade in the sense that it's internal, the way that it works with coils rather than a solenoid or a motor. And they're great people over there, such great people in their tech support department. But either you take it apart and see if you can easily figure out what happened, and if you can't, you're just going to have to buy another one.
Okay, so which company should I end up buying? And do you carry it?
Well, I think the Trine is a good option to go with, provided that it will fit comfortably into the opening. The answer is yes. The issue is you don't have much choice because that prep and that steel frame is done. And that 005 footprint I'm not aware of any other strike that would fit into that same footprint.
So I'm down to trying whether I like it or not.
Not necessarily, because you could modify the frame. But I imagine this is a residence.
I think that's an option.
Okay.
It's a residence. Yeah.
Yeah. So extreme security, abusive, vandalistic use is not going to happen. And I think the Trine 005 is great for that. And most of their low-end strikes are for residential applications. And literally, clients will just come in, say, I need a new 020 or whatever their part number is, 015, because this one worked for 5 years and now it's dead. It happens.
Right. Do you think if I called Trine, they would tell me whether they can sell me just the coil part?
I would encourage you to call them. They are, like I said earlier, tremendous people, especially in tech support. And
I wasn't able to find a phone number for them. Do you by chance have one?
No, but their website's trineonline.com. Certainly they have a contact us link on their page somewhere.
Yeah, I went over there and it wasn't available. It was almost like it was down or something.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, when I click contact us, they got a 203 area code phone number there. Every time I've called, and I've not called them recently, but every time I've called them, I usually have to leave a voicemail, but 100% of the time, a fellow with a foreign accent calls back, and he's to be admired. His expertise is phenomenal. And his bedside manner is even better.
Yeah, okay. All right, I will do that. I appreciate it, Rich. Thanks so much for assisting me on this thing. I'm over on the West Coast. I know you're in Florida. How's the weather over there?
It's sublime. I mean, I'm from Chicago. I don't, this is why anyone would choose to live in a climate where you get such extraordinarily cold temperatures is beyond me.
Yeah, I agree. All right, very good. I appreciate it, Rich. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.